second. You've had no issues going back and forth, starting and bullpen throughout the postseason. Does it take some toll as you continue doing it? And do you think you've opened up some teams' eyes who would want to use you in the future out of the bullpen solely?
Yeah, I mean, so far I've done pretty well coming out of the pen. So I think right now the fact that I'm built up as a starter, you know, to go 100 pitches, that I feel okay. Going back-to-back days and stuff out of the bullpen, so I'm sure it could take a toll, but as of right now, I feel really good. Yeah, I mean, that's all up to them. I mean, it's only been so short coming out of the pen, so I mean, it's all up to them. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to start, but either way, I'm happy to help the team.
Barry, right here.
Hey, Nathan, so much has been discussed about pitch tipping, sign stealing. Do you have Machado's been in the middle of it? What's your opinion on all of it, and how do you keep tipping your pitches, and Machado's part in it recently in this series?
I mean, I feel like pitch tipping is part of the game. I mean, you have so much video now, and you're able to rewatch all the plays, and the hitters are so good at picking up the littlest things. I feel like the biggest part is just locating your pitches. I feel like if you locate your pitch well enough, you're still able to get them out, but I feel like that's also the pitcher side of it. I haven't really heard too much of what Machado said. So.
Where are we? David, right here.
Nathan, did you know going into the postseason that there was the chance that you could be used out of the bullpen? And when did Alex come to you for the first time and then say that might be a possibility?
You know, I don't really remember the first time he said it, but I feel like that's just the way it happens in the postseason. I was prepared for it. Anytime that you can help the team win, I feel like that's the biggest part of it. Yeah, I can't think about the first time he told me to, but I feel like just watching in the past, the starters always seem to come out of the pen, and like I said earlier, you know, you're built up for 100 pitches, so if you can break it down into, 10, 20 pitches, I feel like it's okay. You know, you don't really take that much of a toll, and I feel like a lot of the times, too, the managers, they do a really good job of, they're not bringing you out right after a start, not the day after, but it would be more so on like one of your bullpen days that you're already going to be throwing 20, 30, 40 pitches, so it's just in the game.
And Mark on the second row to your left.
Hey, Nate, I know you were excited to get into the playoffs and into the World Series. The idea of where you started the year and the time and work you put in, then you got traded and to be starting a World Series game. Can you put that in a little bit of perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely crazy to think back. I started this year with the Rays and everything that they were able to do for me coming after the Yankees released me. They put their faith in me that I'd be able to recover from my Tommy John and come back and be healthy. And the Rays did a tremendous job of taking care of me and not rushing me in any way, and allowing me to get to the point where I am now. They were able to make the big trade, send me over here for Beeks, and the things he did with the team this year. He was able to come in and help them win some big games, and they finished the year with 90 wins. And now for me to be over here, it's a huge part to them, and I've had a lot of people work on me to get me back to this point. I'm extremely thankful for everybody's help.
Nick in the fourth row in the middle.
Nathan, once you did come back to the Rays when you first started pitching for them, like how long did it take you to actually get back into sync or the flow or whatever, or you felt like you were 100%?
I definitely didn't feel 100%, but I felt really close. I felt good. There were certain pitches that it took a little bit more time to get the feel for again, but the Rays did again. They did a tremendous job of getting me back and healthy, and they weren't going to throw me into the fire without me being ready. We had to take, we had a lot of rehab starts down in the minors, and it definitely helped. But I felt like I was ready to go before they wanted me to. So it's just, again, they did a tremendous job taking good care of me.
That same row a little to your left, Tyler.
Nathan, as you mentioned, the Rays did win 90 games this year, and some of their coaches just got hired as managers. Their influence is kind of felt around the league. Why do you think other teams are interested in the Rays sort of people, and what did you learn from being there about how they do things and why it's effective?
Yeah, when I got traded over here, that was some of the questions that I was asked, is like, why are the Rays so good? What are they doing over there to, be so successful? And, it starts with the management. Cash does a really good job over there, and then Charlie got hired over with Toronto, and then Rocco's with the Twins now, and when I was hurt in 2017, when I was rehabbing, and I'm down there in the dugout, I'm picking the players' minds, but I'm also picking the coaches' minds, and I learned a lot from Rocco, just about the small things. He was working with the outfielders a lot, and then this year he was the infield coordinator. I think it was his role. Yeah. So just picking his mind and learning the little things about the game from him. I feel like a lot of the teams, when you have good success, the coaches end up going somewhere else.
And we'll stay right there with Heidi.
I know you're scheduled to start Game 4, but Alex Cora said that you could be used out of the bullpen tonight if the situation arises. What has he told you about your usage for tonight?
Just that it would be similar to the previous nights before, so I'm assuming the 8th inning, if we can bridge the gap to get to Kimbrel, and hopefully if we can take the game tonight and be up 3-0, then we'll deal about tomorrow when it happens.
Would you be able to start tomorrow if you pitch tonight?
I mean, I feel like I would. I don't know if they're going to. I don't think they said that They said that if I got in the game tonight, then I would not start tomorrow.
And Gabe to your left in the same row.
Yeah, Nathan, going back to Ricky coming out of the pen in Game 1 of the Division Series, to Chris Sale closing that out, and now you in the World Series. What's it been like to watch the way Alex has just kind of gone for the kill in postseason games this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's really focused on one game at a time. And if there's a chance for us to take a win when we can, I think, he's making all the right decisions. It seems like anytime he calls on somebody out of the dugout or coming in any situation as a pitcher, I feel like he makes the right decision. So we're with him 100%.
And the first row to your left, Marley.
Nate, after your second Tommy John surgery, was there ever a point that you thought that you would not be where you are today?
No, I mean, again, I feel like I'm trusting the doctors and the surgeons that they're going to do their job, and then trusting the trainers. There's our medical staff's so good nowadays, and I've had so many people work on my arm. It's hard to tell everybody that's worked with me. I never thought that I wouldn't be here. I was going to trust them and trust my abilities and do what they told me and be honest with them about being healthy and take it from there.
In the second row, on your left, Eric.
Nathan, you said you'd prefer to be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like coming out of the bullpen?
I like a lot of things about it. I know I'm coming in, especially like when it's the 8th inning. I know I'm coming in for one inning and I'm bridging the gap. Get the ball in Craig's hands and trust him. That he's going to do his job. I mean, he's an outstanding pitcher and closer. The adrenaline rush you get coming out of the pen. I'd say you got to stay locked in the entire time. That's one of the toughest parts it's been for me. It's just you really don't know when you're coming in. Exactly, but I like coming out of the pen a lot.
My questions for Nathan? I'll finish up with Nick if that's the last one.
Does it make you feel really good to be able to contribute in two different roles as opposed to most pitchers who contribute in one role?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's encouraging, and it's really reassuring for me that the AC, Dana, everybody, putting their faith in me that I'll be able to go out there and get the job done, whether it's starting or coming out of the pen. I value that in myself, that I need to be able to come in any situation, especially in the playoffs, that, if the team asks me to take the ball, that I need to be ready to do so. And I feel like the preparation, again, is part of it too. It's definitely helped me prepare and get ready for the Dodgers. And I mean, it's part of the game. You got to know who you're facing, and you go in there and you execute your pitches and try not to put too much pressure on yourself.
Anything else for Nathan? All right, Nathan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you in a bit. Alex Cora should be in a few minutes, and at 3:45, the Hank Aaron Awards will be presented. Hank is here. Commissioner Manfred will be there, and as well the two winners.
Hey, Alex, just a thought on what JD did to test that angle out there, and your thoughts on reasoning behind Benintendi sitting tonight.
With Jackie playing, JD's he's okay. I mean, it's October 26th, I think it is, whatever. He went through the repetitions and he told me he's ready to play. So we're playing him in left. As far as matchups, for what we have information-wise, it's not a big difference. Maybe Benny has the edge, but Jackie's defense with JD in left field, it makes sense for us. Also, we keep Benny on the bench. We had our lefties playing. We got Mitch and Brock and Rafi. So we kept that bat on the bench, and I think he'll show up in the middle of the game. It's a good matchup for us against a righty or a lefty, and then we feel comfortable with his at-bat. He can pinch run. He can come in and play defense. So there's a lot of stuff that went on, but it's simple. Keep the big boy in left field and have Jackie probably play left center and center field, help him out.
The fourth row on your right, David.
Alex, kind of a two-part question. One, do you think a manager can get hot in the postseason? Everything's working out well for you. Number two, using Evaldi and Porcello in the bullpen, was that a plan heading into the postseason, or did that evolve, especially after Rick came in the first game against the Indians?
No, it was a plan. We knew that we were going to have an extra arm in every game. Chris is healthy, but we actually didn't know how he was going to react. We tried to build him up to 90 pitches and 6 up and downs during the game, but it never happened. So we had to be prepared. And all of a sudden, game 1 happened in the division series, and we went with Rick, and that was good. The good thing about them is, like, even if they pitch, when they're supposed to start, their stuff is pretty similar. I heard somebody talking about Rick in Houston. In Houston, huh? He pitched there? Yeah. That his stuff was a little bit down. I don't think this stuff was down. I just thought where we went to certain guys, it wasn't a good game plan. Like Tony Kemp, it was a cutter down and in. That's why I went to talk to Kimbrel in the 9th. When Tony was up, I said, hey, stay away from him. Don't pitch in. So I think the stuff was okay, and they've been able to maintain their stuff. What was the other one?
Can a manager get hot in the postseason?
Nah, that's it. The players. It's all about the players. They're talented. We got information. We put them in spots that we feel they're going to be successful, but at the end, they're the ones that hit homers and make plays, and actually they make managers look good. That's it.
And the second row on your left, Mark.
Alex, you after you guys made the deal for Evaldi, did you reach out to Cash, or did you? What sense did you have of what he was going to be able to do for you, and versus what he actually ended up doing?
Actually, I texted with Snyder, with Kyle, and first thing he said, hard worker, great guy, stuff, amazing, and we saw the good Nate for 2 outings against Minnesota, which before. He had an outing against them and he struggled. Actually, the last one with the Rays, and then he pitched against them. He was good, and then the Yankee won, and in that series in August, that was amazing. And then stuff-wise, it was okay, but we kept attacking in the same plane. I think it started in Baltimore in the doubleheader. We stayed down in zone, and we always talk about pitch mix, and then towards the end of the season, he started pitching up in the zone, expanding both ways, and now you see the result. But he's everything Kyle said about him, and in the clubhouse he's been amazing, hard worker. Sometimes you got to tell him, hey, slow down. But very happy for him. Glad that people are noticing him now, and he's been great for us, obviously.
Yeah, far back in the left corner, Ken.
Alex, I'm sure you're not surprised the Dodgers are changed the lineup dramatically against your righty starter. As a guy who's been a GM yourself, I'm wondering, do you see this as another trend, just the roster they've built with the versatility and the balance and the talent to have such dramatic shifts from one day to the next?
Yeah, I think versatility is huge nowadays. We talk about certain decisions we made early in the season because of that. like tonight, we're versatile tonight. We got guys that if we double switch or we run for them, we can move around. Blake, Brock, Mookie, Pierce. So that's very important. And that's what they do. They do an outstanding job using their roster. It's a deep one. There's a lot of good players in that roster, and DR, he does a good job using them all.
And right up front here in the first row.
Alex, saludo. Tú que has visto a Dustin Pedroia en otra faceta durante estos playoffs, durante la temporada fuera de las líneas. Dos preguntas sobre él. Habiendo sido compañero de él en el 2007, ¿viste en algún momento en ese entonces o ahora alguna característica en él como para en el futuro ser un manager? ¿Y cuán difícil ha sido para ti, que fuiste compañero de él, verlo en esta situación que no puede jugar?
No, ha sido sumamente difícil. Siempre pensé que Piri iba a ser una pieza grande en el terreno de juego para nosotros, pero ha sido, yo creo, una pieza más grande para nosotros en el clubhouse. Ha sido tremendo, ha sido un mentor, un maestro, está en cada picheo y de verdad que nos sentimos bien orgullosos con lo que Pedroia ha hecho este año. No sé, en cuanto a dirigente, su carácter es uno bien duro y no sé si eso le interesa, pero en cuanto a conocimiento del juego, la pasión por el juego y comunicación con los jugadores, es tremendo tipo y todo depende de él y lo que él quiera hacer del juego.
And Barry in the third row on your right.
Hey, Alex.
What's going on?
Translate, por favor.
Yeah, he asked me about Petey. What he's meant to the club this year. Obviously, I envision Petey to be my second baseman and do a lot of things on the field, contributing on the field, but it didn't happen. But what he's done in the clubhouse, in the dugout, off the field, has been amazing. He's been great. Communication with the players and keep them in check, keeping them in the moment, and being, I don't know, our 9th coach or 10th coach, whatever, I don't know, whatever he's been great. Disappointed, yeah, he's one of the best second basemen in the big leagues. I knew, going into the situation, it was going to be cool. He's one of my best friends, but things happen for a reason, and he's been upbeat. He's been there with his teammates, and he's a big part of what we're trying to accomplish. And then he says something about PD managing, and I say, well, we'll see. He's very fiery. So we'll see.
Very high strung.
Yeah.
The question for you is on the whole propensity of sign stealing and the focus on tipping of pitches, and you had the thing with Houston and the other series, and now Machado, but some people are thinking he's at second base stealing signs. What's your assessment of the whole thing, and why is there so much focus on it now?
You just have to be prepared as a team. That's the only thing you can do. Stealing signs and tipping, it's been going on for forever. I learned in Miami, in college. We used to do it. I don't know if that's good for the program, but yeah, we used to do it. And then I played with in winter ball. It really doesn't matter how talented you are. You better know the game and pay attention to the game, because you're not playing double A or A ball. I was in 1996. I played in Vero Beach, Florida, and then I play winter ball, and I'm playing with big leaguers, and then that's when you learn. Start paying attention to details. In 2000, I played with for Sandy Alomar Sr., and Sandy. He was a guy. He will always tell you. The game will tell you something. You just have to pay attention to it. The scoreboard is not for the fans. The scoreboard is for the players. Outs, innings, strikes, all that stuff. If you pay attention to that, something is gonna tell you what to do on the field. And then that same year, Robbie played for us for 10 days, and that was amazing. His baseball IQ is off the charts. He tries to take advantage of every little detail. This guy is, at that time we knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer, and I still remember there's one out, he's at second, and we're playing in Maya West. I remember that game. That's like the biggest rivalry for us in Caguas. and the catcher, he was flipping the ball back to the pitcher, back to the pitcher, back to the pitcher. And we're talking about Robbie Alomar, one of the best players in the big leagues, and he's playing winter ball. And pitch, flip it, he took off to third, and we were in awe. Like, if this guy is doing this, we better start playing that way. So that's what I learned from them, and that's what we try to do.
Do two final ones. Marley to your left.
Alex, I'm going to ask it in English if you'd be so kind to answer in English and Spanish.
I'll be kind.
Thank you very much. So Kevin Cash loses yet another coach in Charlie Montoyo, and
Awesome.
Obviously he lost Rocco Baldelli already. Talk to me about the Rays losing, right, like yet churning out like the Astros, some managers, and also Charlie Montoyo becomes the third Puerto Rican coach with you. Well, no, active right now.
Oh.
With Dave Martinez, you, and then Joe Espada is still in the mix for a couple of jobs. So the personal pride that you feel with the Puerto Rican coaches.
Like I said before, I don't put limits. I'm proud of them. He's awesome, and I'm glad that people saw them or saw Charlie as capable. That's it. I've been saying it for 5 or 6 years. This is not about minorities. This is not about him being Latino or Puerto Rican. Is Charlie Montoyo is a great baseball man, and he's been coaching and managing for a lot of years. He's actually in the Hall of Fame of AAA. Like the Jays got a Hall of Famer. Where they at in the organization, it fits because he teaches the game, and there's a lot of young players that they're gonna get in the next few years that they're gonna impact the game. But he's the right guy, and I'm proud of that. But like I said, I'm glad that they saw him as a capable guy, and he's there. Same with Espada, but it's the same with Ron Reineke. It's the same with Rocco Baldelli. It's only 30 jobs, and there's 30 owners, and they gonna hire who they feel is capable. And the only difference is that the last 2 years, they saw Davey as capable manager. The people here in Boston, they saw me that way, and now Toronto did it with Charlie. So. Sinceramente orgulloso por Charlie, sumamente contento. Y la única diferencia de lo que ha pasado en los últimos 2 años a los años anteriores es que la gente no está poniendo límites. Están viendo a las minorías como personas capaces que pueden dirigir a este nivel. Y eso es lo que yo he dicho en los últimos 5 años, que cuando empiecen a evaluarnos a nosotros como personas capaces, va a comenzar a suceder. Y sucedió con Davey, sucedió conmigo, ahora con Charlie. Sé que Espada tiene oportunidad con Texas, creo que es el que queda. De verdad que sumamente orgulloso y contento, y de verdad que le deseo lo mejor.
And we'll finish up with Heidi in the fourth row on your left.
Hi, you said that Evaldi, he's obviously scheduled to start tomorrow, but you said the right situation presents itself tonight, that he could get in the game tonight out of the bullpen. Do you see, it's kind of a two-parter, do you see any kind of scenario where he pitches maybe a clean, quick inning and could still start the game tomorrow?
We'll talk about that after the game, see how he feels, but probably not. If he pitches today, is very similar to Chris in New York in Game 4, that we were up by 3, I think, going into the 8th, and we feel that he can pitch that inning, keep it that way, and then we go to the next guy and close it. It's still baseball. You never know. A walk, a hit, and a tie game, but it's a chance we're taking. And then, if he pitches today, most likely he won't pitch tomorrow.
And what kind of a luxury is it to have a guy who's ready out of the bullpen tonight and also ready to start the game tomorrow, depending on what happens?
No, it's been great. It's not only him; it's the rest of the rotation. David Price texted me last night. He's like, "I'm ready for tomorrow," and then that's great. That doesn't mean that we will use them, but the willingness and to be able to compete in a game that probably they should have, because they got their program. But right now, I've been saying it, we're all in, and they know it. They understand how we manage in the game, how we are attacking the opposition, and if they're healthy, they're willing to take the risk.
Alex, thanks for your time.
No problem. Have a good one.